Hi, I'm Isaac.
I'm Audrey.
I'm Miles.
And I'm Fiona.
And our project is about pets and personality.
Yeah, it is.
Our research was about whether or not people's personality types affected what types of pets they liked and how many pets they had. We sent out a survey via our social media to ask people how they identified their gender, whether they were introverted or extroverted, how many pets they had, and if they preferred cats or dogs.
Penny, for your thoughts, do you like cats or dogs better?
Dogs.
I did a chi-squared test to test for correlation between gender and preference in cats or dogs.
So this is our chi-squared test of independence. Our null hypothesis is that pet preference is independent of gender, and our alternative hypothesis is that pet preference is dependent on gender. We have an alpha value of 0.05, and it is a right-tailed test. We use inverse chi-squared to calculate a critical value of 3.841, and our chi-squared test with observed values in matrix A, expected values in matrix B, to calculate the test statistic of 4.126 and our p-value of 0.0422. Our p-value of 0.0422 was smaller than 0.05, our alpha value, and in summary, we rejected our null hypothesis.
Do you prefer cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Dogs? Yeah, respect that. I like dogs too. And then, would you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert?
Both.
Cats or dogs?
I like both.
And do you like cats or dogs better? Wait, you're a dog.
A recent study at Slippery Rock University showed that introverts tend to be split about 50-50 in preferring cats or dogs, whereas extroverts tend to prefer dogs. It also showed that type A people, being more organized, tend to prefer dogs, whereas type B people, being more creative-minded, tend to prefer cats.
I tested for I did a linear regression test that examined a significant relationship between being an introvert and extrovert and the number of pets you have.
Our null hypothesis for the test is there is no significant relationship between personality type and number of pets, while our alternative hypothesis is that there is a significant relationship. For our two-tailed test, we performed an inverse T critical value equation with 0.025 and degrees of freedom of 149, which got us a critical value of plus minus 1.976. This test statistic, t-value, falls within our range, which leads us to fail to reject H0, saying that there's not enough evidence to suggest a significant relationship. This rule is the correlation coefficient rule to find R. We ended up not using this rule because we had 151 data points, so we just put the data into Google Sheets and performed the test there, other than putting in our calculator. Our R value of 0.0663484841 and our R squared value of 0.004402121347 lead us to believe that this relationship is not significant, and the correlation is very weak between personality type, either introvert or extrovert, and the number of pets someone owns at an alpha level of 0.05.
Our surveys included some forms of bias because we had voluntary response bias. It also was a convenience sampling bias, which means that it was only samples from people who are our friends.
Also, we excluded people who were non-binary or gender fluid because we didn't have enough results. The male tests also would have been skewed because we had far fewer male than female identifying people taking the test.
If we had only tested females with the chi-squared test for independence, seeing if females preferred cats or dogs, we would have failed to reject, because there was not enough evidence to suggest that females preferred cats over dogs or dogs over cats.
Another thing that could have potentially messed up our math was the fact that we attached numeric values on our 1 to 5 scale for introverted to extroverted so that we could use them as a calculation.
My test concluded that pet preference is dependent on gender, although this test would have had a different conclusion and I would have failed to reject had our alpha value been lower.
In the conclusion of my test, we found that the significant relationship between personality, introvert, extrovert, and number of pets is not significant at all, with a R value of 0.066, and it doesn't encourage us to do any more significance testing on the relationship moving forward.
You ask these lead-up questions
Lead up questions.
that get the person thinking, oh, that's no big deal, that's no big deal, and then you
Drop
hit
something
them,
hard. Drop something hard.
and then you just ask something real provocative. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Anything you want to answer on camera? Anything you want out in the world of your opinion?
And I just want you guys to know that, okay? You're young, and you're just beginning your social and sexual lives, but my God, it ain't over till you're 6 feet under, okay?